Yo. Knicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. What's going on, fellas? I got my guy, Jay Boogie, in the building. Shuttle gonna be in the building. Think we got Josh popping up in the building. It's gonna be lit today. How y'all feeling?
What's good, my brother? Yo, first thing first, man. Blessing, have health and happiness to you guys and everybody right now that's watching right now. Happy 2-4. Blessings that we made it out to see another year. I hope everybody's in the greatest form of health, man. But I'm good, TC. I'm here to rock with you, you know what I'm saying? DJ Shuttle, you know what I'm saying? I know he on the ones and twos. Here to rock with you, man. See what we can talk about tonight, man.
Welcome back too, man. It's been a minute, so it's definitely a pleasure. Appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate you reaching out as well on New Year's and the Christmas tip. You know what I mean?
No doubt, my brother.
Yeah, and he said it's the year 2-4, so we know it's the Mamba season. So it's the year of the Mamba, so it's time to
Mamba up.
yeah, it's time to Mamba up with that, that attitude, that energy on the court and in life in general, you heard?
Yes, sir. But yeah, the OG era has arrived. I haven't got a chance to get Jay Boogie's take, how his initial reaction was when he heard about it, how he was feeling, if anything's changed. We'll get to. Yeah. So Jay Boogie, man, let me get your thoughts. Let me start there. What was your thoughts when we pulled the trade off? Um, Anything changed in the last 2 days? As Shuttle alluded to, I wasn't the happiest at the time, mainly because of the inclusion of Quickley. And I think that's been the sentiment throughout the Knicks community. You know what I mean? Quickly, it was the tough pill to swallow. But yeah, what was your thoughts, Jay Boogie?
Um, I saw it hit my phone and I just seen the picture of OG and I was like, dang, OG got traded. And and then I started, like drifting my eyes down to the bottom and I seen that word Knicks. So I was like, okay. I said I was feeling good. I was like, let me find out the details of what happened. And then I looked over and seen that RJ and IQ was gone. I was like, oh, okay, wow. Let me see what else came involved. And then once I saw what else came involved, I was like, okay, we preparing right now. And I knew the whole time that a trade was coming, but I didn't know what trade was coming. And I already felt in my heart that IQ was either going to be traded during the trade deadline. If not, he was going to be traded in a sign and trade. Because in my mind frame, really, you know what I'm saying, I know that his ex-roommate really wanted him over there in Philly. I know that for a fact. But once OG was saying him, I started celebrating Leon. I started celebrating Leon. I forgot all about the trade, forget the players and everything. Just celebrated Leon because, like, for so long, we've been waiting for Leon to make a move to do something. And then, he's always quiet. And then he made a move with a team that everybody been saying we couldn't make a move with. And for him to make that move with them type guys right there, on the back end of, we still in courts with them, on the illegal business side, with the tampering situation, that was real big for Leon. And that means to tell me that Leon really, he's shuffling his deck right now. He's doing what he got to do. Because I've been saying all along, pretty much ever since the season started, some moves are going to be made because Leon or his whole crew, they don't have no new deal. They still on their same first contract. They on their fourth year. Something is going to have to be done that's going to move us into a different position, get us further over the hump, and for Leon to show to Dolan that I'm in this chair and I'm gonna do things. I just need to do it in my way. So I was happy for Leon more than anything. But with the trade, I'm cool with the trade. I'm cool with the trade. That's something that we needed. A major fit. A major fit. It's just that a little bit of the IQ, on the IQ coming off the bench, we, what I'm saying, that showed a little bit. but I believe in due time he gonna take care of that situation too. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the jab looking for the overhand Marvin Hagler.
That's what I said too. Like as a standalone move, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't the happiest, but I also said I felt like this is gonna push the ball for the next move. You know what I mean? And I feel like that move is right around the corner as well. And that's what the previous shows have been about. I know that when you reached out, you said you wish you was on that show as well. You know what I mean? Just speculating who we could possibly go after. Tonight I'm gonna talk about Derozan a little bit more. I'm gonna talk about some of the guys Chicago has, considering we playing them tonight anyway. So we'll cover that. I also want to give you guys an opportunity, as well as myself, to actually just give a final farewell to RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley. You know, we talked about the trades, but basically I want to just say, like, we'll name maybe our favorite moments from those two players, and kind of just give our last farewells, you know what I mean, well wishes.
So if I could, Tone, just for maybe 90 seconds or less, just piggyback on Jay Boogie's comments about the front office. I feel like that the front office needs their own show. We need a show dedicated to an assessment of what the front office has done for their tenure, because they've been much maligned by the New York fans. And I think that slow and steady wins the race. And yeah, it'd be great to just make some knee-jerk trade, or it'd be amazing to pull off a Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, KG, Coop. But you know, if you can bring in Derrick Rose and then give a surge to your season, you can bring in Hart for next to nothing in it, bring a surge to your season. You can bring in OG and then bring a surge to your season. It is, to me, it shows that these guys are extremely competent. And while it's not going from 30 wins to 55 wins, like, I'm impressed, and I think that we should be giving kudos to the front office in a major way right now. And to Jay Boogie's point, like, if you would have told somebody we did a deal with Toronto, they would have been like, they would have took that bet to FanDuel and put the house on that we wouldn't have been able to do it, and they got it done. I mean,
or we got fleeced,
or we would have got fleeced, and we've been fleeced by Toronto. Bognani, let's not even go there. You know what I mean? So we've already been fleeced by Toronto, and to be able to get an all NBA defensive player that is a better fit than the starting small forward we had. And yeah, we gave up Quickley, but we gave up no first round picks to do it. To me, this is like a win-win-win, you know, across the board for the front office.
No doubt. What's good, Josh? Appreciate you joining.
What's up, y'all? What's up to my OGs? How y'all doing? OG J Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you again.
Uncle.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Always.
Yes,
my
sir.
Uncle, man.
Yes, sir. DJ Shuttle in the building. You know what I mean? Tony Crow, Knicks and Bruises. Salute to the Knicks and Bruises family. Salute to the chat. Salute to MBK always. Shuttle, it's a good thing you brought up Bargnani. You know who was his agent at the time?
Not Leon Rose.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But
it's a good thing he's on our side now.
Yeah. He was representing the player at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so he did him right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you know, that'd be a good idea actually to talk about this front office and you know, just a cap up or a wrap up of what they have done so far up until this point since they've been here. I actually think that's a really good idea. Me and Tony spoke yesterday about where does this front office rank in the NBA. I know Tony highlighted the comment that I think Sherwin said it. This is the best front office in the NBA, including the coach. I'm not willing to go that far yet, but I think they've definitely done some great moves since they've been here. You know what I'm saying? So definitely got to give them credit where credit is due. Still yet to be seen how all this is going to work out. But I'm optimistic. I wasn't as down on the OG trade as Tony and Sim was. I was actually much more forward thinking in regards to that, which is normally the other way around. So Yeah, I like what they've done so far, and I expect them to make another move. No doubt about that.
No doubt. Before we move on, because I got you guys' outtake on OG's performance in that first game. J Boog, I just want you to let me know what you think of his performance in that first game, and anything surprised you.
Nah, and nothing surprised me. And I didn't even see his performance. He didn't even perform yet. He just was out there on the court. He just got a book a day before. So he hasn't really, you know what I'm saying, brought nothing but his demeanor to the game. And I think so fast, the way he plays, it rubbed off on the team and I think the guys was like, yo, we get ready to do some things and we got to play in here. And it feels good because we went and got a winner in areas of the game that we don't have, and I'm real big on the fit, you know what I'm saying? But he hasn't even showed anything of his game to where it's, what he's really, really going to do and what he's going to really become inside this New York Knicks organization. He's going to do the small things, the detailed things, and he mentioned it in his interview, he said that he want to be a playmaker on D. That's big. He wants to be a playmaker on defense. You don't hear that type conversation, you know what I'm saying, throughout the league. I was watching when after he got the dunk and somebody was shooting a free throw and they was yelling at him talking about that's how you finish. He said, thank you. See, these are type things you don't hear from a ball player, no more, especially not from the Knicks, to say I'm a playmaker on D and thank you and stuff like that. So I'm waiting for him to get everything down pat. I love the fact that, he's a corner guy, but he's not Kevin Knox in that corner. If I don't get it, I know how to cut and do different things. I'm going to bring things to the table, but let me learn that book. That book is important. Once he get that book down pat, we're going to make our run. And that's what I'm waiting for, more importantly. Get that book down pat so we can ride out, man. And for Precious. I don't know what's going on with Flynn, but Precious, I like that piece coming upon too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna wait a little bit more. Tonight we're gonna see a little bit more of him tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. For sure. Anybody want to add anything to just the last game?
I do. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Instincts. I mean, like Boogie said, first game, I don't know, no practice, a walkthrough. I mean, it just shows like basketball, man, as much as it's physical, it's mental. And you gotta have the instincts on the court. Like if you can't realize the imbalance and say, oh, let me move over there, like these are things that you shouldn't have to be coached up when you get to the NBA level, as much as the Knicks players are seeming like they have needed to be coached up on this, in my opinion. I mean, these are things I feel like I knew when I was in middle school. The court's in balance. Go over there. Don't stand still. Move. Hello. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I saw several times OG, like he just instinctively said, oh, let me move. And he just moved. And it was like, duh, so simple. So I'm just happy that we have a player that is not so full of himself and thinks that he has to be the top dog, and is going to know that where his role is, and he's going to be able to be a star in his role and not necessarily need to be a star.
Alan Hahn spoke on it in two different instances, but I think it makes perfect sense. First, he spoke about Grimes on that backdoor cut play where he got the N1, but they took the basket away. He said the foul was before the shot. But he preferenced by saying the previous game, Hartenstein had to tell him to cut, and then the next game, Grimes made that same cut on his own. You know what I mean? He read it rather than having been told. But then he also spoke about how OG knows where those spots are. Those dump off passes in the dunking spot. You know what I mean? The fact that he is able to catch those passes cleanly and then go straight up vertical and bring it down. We didn't really have that on his team other than Mitch. So yeah, and Mitch, that's by default because he ain't leaving the dunker spot anyway. So you know what I mean. So, Josh, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Shout out to the
and
chat too.
yeah, definitely. Salute to the chat. I mean, for me, there was one major reason why I thought the OG move worked out, and this is even something I saw before the game. When you watch the Knicks on the floor now, like especially in that last game, they just look bigger. Like they just look like bigger. They can match up pound for pound, like better with teams that are like, you know what I mean, that are also bigger, like the good teams, like the Minnesotas, Boston, right? Minnesota got McDaniels 6'10" playing at the 3. So I think the Knicks can match up well with those types of teams that are able to trot that out there. And they're able to play a much more half-court game, much more sound half-court game, like you said, Shuttle, moving around, getting to their spots. That they look so much better than what they had with RJ on the floor. You know what I mean? And that was a big thing for me. I thought that's why the Knicks really couldn't compete with the Bostons and the Milwaukees as much because they didn't match up well. We were too small. And I think OG, even putting away the length aside, the wingspan aside, if you watch them, you can tell this team just looks different and they can match up better. So that's something that I always thought the Knicks needed, and I'm glad that they got it right now. And yeah, we'll see how it looks moving forward when we play Boston and Milwaukee again, or Philly.
No doubt. Look like 100 people in the chat, man. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Definitely hit that like. Funny thing, it said I looked at my analytics. 60% of y'all are not subscribed. Y'all just watching. Joe, hit that subscribe button,
man.
You know
Come
what I mean?
on, man.
If you hear you like what you're getting, so you might as well subscribe so you don't miss nothing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to up my content as well. So you guys are helping. You're motivating me for sure. My next segment I want to talk about RJ Quickley. This is like final farewell because you know what I mean, they're not Knicks anymore. I'm gonna watch from afar, but I don't plan on talking about them anymore. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I just want us to kind of highlight our favorite moments, our best moments from both players. We'll start with RJ. And we'll go Josh, Boogie, Shuttle. I'll go last. And then we'll go the opposite way around. So yeah, your favorite IQ moment on the Knicks.
I thought you said you want to start with RJ.
Oh, RJ, my bad. RJ, yes.
I thought that's what you said.
Oh. You know what? Let's start with IQ since we starting with you.
Okay.
This way you got some time. You got some time to think about your RJ moment.
For me, I mean, the IQ moment for me that stands out is the game against Boston last year when we didn't have Brunson. We put IQ in that starting lineup, and the guy just, I mean, took over that game. I mean, he just was dominant in that game. Nobody can stop him from scoring. And that right there told me that he was for real as far as a scorer. I mean, like legitimately for real. The fact that he came in there and was able to do whatever he wanted, basically couldn't miss a shot. So that's the IQ moment that stands out for me, to be honest with you. Oh, one more thing. Also, the fact that last season when Randall was or not last season, might be the season before that, when Randall was wilding out, he was one of the first people to actually stand up to him on the floor. I really like seeing that from a young player. So those are the two things that stand out for me with IQ.
No doubt. Boogie?
Well, my youngest nephew, he just stole the second one. I was getting ready to say that one right there, so I'm getting ready to go find something else, man.
My bad. I should have just said one. My bad.
No,
I mean, if you want to elaborate on it, you know what I mean?
You good. I'm gonna go somewhere. I can go somewhere because IQ has gave us a lot of things. You know, my biggest moment was when he finally took that time away from what's his name?
D Rose.
No, from
Frank.
The guard.
Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith Jr.
No, the point guard that was here. Dang, I can't think of his name, man.
Alfred.
With the hair. Yeah, when he finally took the time from that dude, man, you know, it just looking at him it was like, you know, he finally like accomplished something. Whereas the league see I'm here and he's arrived, you know, and ever since that moment I was give him those keys. And I felt like it was his turn, his time right then and there, but opportunity really, really didn't present itself. But I liked it when he finally got, the chance to have the keys, to rock the team over Peyton, and get more playing time over there. I was happy for him. And besides the other day when he went and hugged his mom's loving him and him being out there, he's a real church guy. So, IQ got so many things that he don't did in that short period of time, man. And I'm really gonna miss his game, and I'm gonna miss it until we do something in his spot.
Mm,
So but those are two moments, that I got with IQ.
no doubt. Shuttle.
Yeah, definitely the Boston game is kind of like the one moment, but for me overall, just how he transformed himself from a very questionable, I don't know if we can trust this guy, he's kind of erratic player, to this year like being clearly the third best player on the team, being a guy that we relied on, depended on. I mean, improved his defense significantly. So for me, it's like just the overall ascension of his game, and becoming a fan favorite and keeping a level head. I mean, all things like it just, for me, he was a very questionable player his rookie year, and I wasn't fully sold. And yeah, I mean, he became a fan favorite, grew on me, and I think for me that's what speaks volumes to me the most, is his ascension and growing on me
Yeah,
as a player.
I'm a piggyback. Like I feel like he just got better year after year after year. You know what I mean? So the value that we got from him, from the pick that we got, that we used to get him, you know what I mean? We traded down for him, right?
Yep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mixed out on Maxi and traded down to get him.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yeah, I was gonna say, his growth year in and year out, but the moment I like he became my favorite player on the team was early. I want to say it was the rookie, yeah, his rookie season. Um, I don't know if it was preseason or if it was the regular season, but he took this logo three, right, and it didn't go in, but Tibbs didn't take him out, right, and I was like, oh, like this is telling me something, like
Right.
Tibbs knew he could hit that early. You know what I mean? And then the fact that Tibbs had confidence in him in his rookie year, which is not an easy task to overcome. You know what I mean? If it's hard to get into Tibbs circle, you know what I mean? Like it's usually um a process, you know what I mean? And you start at the bottom if you're a rookie. But he was there from the beginning. It wasn't the minutes that a lot of people were calling for, but he was getting, you know what I mean, adequate experience from the beginning. And I think he earned it. I know he earned it playing for a guy like Tibbs. You know what I mean? It wasn't given to him. You know what I mean? You could argue some people it was given to. IQ took his opportunity
Yeah,
and
he
made
went
the
out and
best of
took
it.
his, got his. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah, man.
And
Farewell
and
IQ for sure, man.
and you know that might be apropos time to say, contrary to the myth that Tibbs doesn't play young guys, that would be an opportunity to probably highlight that,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
it's not that he doesn't play young guys, he don't trust every young guy.
You gotta earn it. So I'm gonna start with RJ. We're gonna go Shuttle, Boogie. Josh, I'm letting you go last so you could think about something you liked about RJ.
Damn.
Oh, my favorite
Wow.
RJ moment. I'm not gonna go the easiest one because I'm gonna save that if it makes it to Josh. So I'm gonna actually go his playoff performance this past year. You know what I mean? He finally took a step after, like, I think he had a subpar first 3 games, 2 or 3 games, but after that, the duration of the playoffs last year, it looked like he was finally taking a step in the right direction. And then he came in to start the year the same way, and I would leave it at that. So that stretch of the playoffs, you know what I mean, the end of the playoffs last year into the FIBA, you know what I mean, into the beginning of the year. I ain't gonna lie, I was super excited. RJ playing the way he did to start the year, and I thought it was based off of, you know what I mean, that little run, that stretch he was on. So that's my RJ moment. My favorite RJ moment. It's crazy at the end, the tail end of his Knicks career, but hey, farewell, RJ. Shuttle, what you got?
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Kerry Cox, why are you thinking? Kerry Cox said RJ, pure effort and confidence. For
Yeah,
sure.
I mean that's what he exuded, but that's not a favorite moment. That's for sure. I mean, I guess my favorite moment is that, you know, he was a number 3 draft pick from a big time school that really wanted to be here and talk tough about coming here, was happy to be coming here, unlike a lot of players that might feel that way. Now, I may say he underdelivered. I may say he underperformed, but he came in with the old college try, and he came in positive. Yeah, he did have a good dunk that I think sent a game into overtime that he should have had an N1 on towards the end of last season.
Mm-hmm. Game winner should have been a game winner.
That should have been a game winner, and the shot over Tatum
against Toronto, actually. What you're talking?
Yeah, and the shot over Tatum to win that game off the glass with the kiss. You know, I mean, that was probably, you know, his biggest moment if you had to ask me.
No doubt. J Boogie, I need you to bring it up, man. I know you got the energy for RJ.
I mean, I was at that game. I was sitting right up under that rim when he stole that ball and he hustled up to go get that rock, beat him to that rock, and took that one bounce in 2 steps and banged it on him. That should have been an and one, man. Everybody, I'm down there bugging out with Kurt Thomas and all of them. That's supposed to have been a game winner right there, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't see it that way. But that was a big time playing moment for RJ. But for me, I'm a his learning who he can really become and what he could do. It came from, it was a game where he was playing against Jimmy Butler, was in the Garden, and Jimmy Butler he won't giving him the business, but he was giving him the learning tools, and RJ was taking it all in. You know, every time he do a move on him, he was talking back to him. Good.
I was just gonna say he was kind of putting taking him to school, because if I'm not mistaken, he was pointing out to RJ the mistakes he was making defensively.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. In that game, I remember that game.
Yeah,
how disrespectful.
Every move, everything he did, when it was a dead ball, he was letting them know exactly what he was doing wrong, how you do that, you know what I'm saying, how you need to do that versus why you didn't do it, you know what I'm saying, and what could be the outcome. And then it flipped because RJ dropped 35 on him, I think in Miami or something. And it was like everything that he was telling him and everything, he let it out in that game, and he was really amped up that game. And like beating on his chest and everything. You never seen emotional type RJ. You know, it's always, you know what I'm saying? I call him Pretty Boy Keith Sweat. And too many times he was too Pretty Boy Keith Sweat. But that was that one moment where, you know what I'm saying, he learned from him, and then he realized he can go ahead and go against this guy, you know. So to me, that was like the one big moment game for RJ. Like, I think he had 35 and, you know, some single digits on rebounds and assists and all that. But he had that was his first complete game that I really seen RJ play. Yep. I'm gonna pass it on to my youngest nephew because I know he liked the falling on the scoreboard and dashboard and all that. I know he liked that play.
Nah.
I just hope I hope he had enough time, man. You had enough time, bro.
Nah, I got enough time. I'll just say this. I just find it crazy how when we drafted RJ, everybody came, on Twitter and on social media with RJ and the Nick had as a youngin and all that. You know what I mean? He grew up rooting for the Knicks and all that stuff, and now he's on Toronto. I've been a Raptors fan all my life. You know what I mean? I just find that funny. I don't know. Something about that is just real funny. Real funny to me. In regards to that game against Boston, the shot that he made, he was shooting horrible up until that point. I mean, he was horrible up until that point. And I said it's the hard will in worldwide. I was like, look, if he wouldn't have made that shot, I would have came on here and bashed him like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because he played horrible that game. So luckily he did make that shot. That was a big moment for him. But I mean, I think you guys all hit it all on the head. I think the one thing that stands out for me was last season in the playoffs against Cleveland, that moment on the bench between him and Obi. Because up until that point, all we thought about with the kids was, oh, they nice, they, play around, always smiling, you know what I mean, all that stuff. That was the first time we seen any one of the kids like show some emotion. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what stood out for me. Like he got up off that bench like he went Jamaican for a second. You know what I mean? Like he actually, went bumba cloud on him and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really like that from RJ. You know what I mean? And I think that that told me last season that these young boys ain't playing around. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Obi was traded in the offseason and RJ's traded now. But to me, I just thought that said something. That stood out for me when it comes to RJ. But,
and the last thing I do want to highlight about RJ, it's not a moment, but it's more of an attribute. I think he handled New York better than a lot of people will be able to, especially at his age, being the third pick, expectation, you know what I mean? Even though, I do believe he was protected and sheltered by the presence of Julius Randle. But even still, I think he never let New York media, never let New York pressure get to him. And he seemed to be built for it here. You know what I mean? I never worried about that, whether he played good or bad. You know what I mean? He kept that same demeanor, and I think that's going to help him moving forward. Anybody want to add anything else to before we talk about this Bulls game?
Yeah, real quick, because we talked about RJ, and we talked about IQ, and then Julio just mentioned, what I'm saying, about Obi. One thing you can say, you must, let it be known that even though them guys went somewhere else, Leon did right by them guys. You know what I'm saying? He put Obi over there where he can run up and down the floor, you know what I'm saying? With, probably the best point guard in the league, so he can run the wing with that guy. He did right by with RJ. I'm gonna go ahead and send you back home. You know what I'm saying? I got a deal done with Toronto. I'm gonna send you back home, you know what I'm saying, where you grew up from, you could be with your family and your friends. And he did right by IQ, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you somewhere where you have a chance and potential where you can have your own team and be your own floor general. He could have sent guys to West Bubble, but he didn't do that. So Leon, had some love and some caring for the guys, even though, they traded off. So I'm just saying that so nobody can feel like, Leon did guys wrong. No, he didn't do none of them guys wrong. He set them all where they could be and where they can fit and where they can flourish. It's up to you to what you do when you get there. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. You can't turn around and be mad at, you know what I'm saying, about where Leon sends you. You're supposed to go there and blossom because he puts you all in positions. Whereas, if you felt like you wasn't in the right position here, he put you in the right position there. So I just wanted to let that be known about all three of those guys and plus what Leon had done for them.
Hey, if I could piggyback, you could add Cam to that list. You know what I mean? Put him in a position where he was able to get a shot and kind of be appreciated, if you will. But this goes back to a conversation that me and you were having, Josh, where I think he has an advantage in the sense, right? Coming from the agent side of things and understanding what his clients have gone through, potentially being traded to unfavorable destinations and things of that nature. So obviously when he gets on the business side of it or the NBA side of it, that's something that he could keep in mind when he's in that position to move guys. You know, how can I put him in a position where he could still benefit and it's not solely a team thing. You know what I mean? What's best for both sides. So I think that's an advantage that he has coming from the agent side and seeing these things happen. But yeah, that's a great point. J Boogie. Um, I don't know where to start. I know Sim is a little under the weather still, and probably still at practice. So I mean, we could kind of preview the game. I don't got slides and all that, but um, I'll say this. Or let's start with matchups, right? And just go there. Um, any matchups you looking forward to tonight? Obviously, Levine is out. Nixon Bruce's injury report. Levine is out. Vucevic is out. I think Patrick Williams is out. So it's really I mean, but even with that, these guys have been playing a lot better. So the record isn't to be taken lightly, considering I think they've been on a nice little a nice little stretch right now. Pushed their way back up to the 10th seed. But yeah, any matchups that you guys are looking forward to or concerned about? Kobe White's been balling. Let me throw that in there. He's in the starting lineup now.
About time. Yeah, Kobe White. I think it's a game time decision. So him and Patrick Williams are both game time decisions. I mean, it's really no matchup that I with this particular thing because all the main people are out. I mean, I know Derozan's still playing, but you know, Levine's not there. This Chicago Bulls team is not that good, and they're gonna pretty much break it up. So, not completely downplay them and take them for granted, but I think this is a game the Knicks should win overall. I expect Randall to continue dominating what he's been doing for the last 20 or so games. I think so. He needs to continue to dominate.
Bounce back game for Brunson.
Yeah, definitely. We need a bounce back game from Brunson. He hasn't been playing like the all NBA player that we want him to be. You know what I'm saying? He's had his moments, but you know, like I said, I think there's still a conversation to be had about who the best player on this team is. You know what I mean? Because I think you can go either way. I've been saying that for the longest time. But yeah, the Knicks should win this matchup head to head, no problem. There's no individual matchup that really stands out for me.
I do have one, but I want to hear you guys first. Go ahead, Shuttle.
Yeah, definitely for me. I mean, we got OG to be the defensive stopper, and DeRozan is the guy. So I'm looking forward to OG against every top scorer right now. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I was a defensive specialist, so I have a heart in my place for guys that are defensive stoppers, if you will. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing OG have him. You know, have him have a tough game, you know, and let this be a game. Yeah, like JB's probably means tired. Hopefully this could be a game where the Knicks can go up early, keep the score up, and you know, and Brunson not have to play too much in the fourth quarter, and Deuce McBride's getting the minutes. Maybe even Flynn gets a couple of minutes in there. So like you got to have games like that, and this is what I'm thinking about tonight. The matchup and just overall getting the early lead, putting your foot on their neck, you know what I mean, stomping them out. 40 below 10 type of game. Hello.
That's a fact. J Boogie.
To me, the biggest matchup is DeRozan against Leon Rose. What are we talking about? I already told you 2 weeks ago. You're one of the two teams that I want to play with. What are you going to do? I see you making moves. Come get me, dude. I'm in your building. Come get me. Stop playing. The building should be boarded up tonight. Don't let DeRozan and Caruso up out of there. They should board it up. They shouldn't even be playing. Trade has been breaking news. They're not even playing tonight because those are two slots that we need. One is the 2, one is the backup point guard. Those are two positions that we need. Besides that, besides that right there going on, DeRozan getting in Leon ear about, yo, get me here. We supposed to clobber these guys. You're supposed to be really feeling good. You don't have at least 2 games of practice. And my man don't have that playbook. So we already know what he can do on the defensive end. He should be more comfortable about where he should be and where cuts he should make. And Brunson and Julius should be more comfortable about how he move on offense. We know what he can do on defense. You know what I'm saying? So I look for us. We supposed to clobber these guys. I think the line is 8 and 9. I think we should beat these guys by like 13 points, or something like that. If you don't want to rock with DeRozan or Caruso, grab Andre up out of there, man. But they got pieces over there that we can use and utilize on this squad, and they going all the way down here fast, 100 miles per. You ever seen this? You ever seen the city buses when they going down here? They flying. You used to have your arm out the window. That's how the Chicago Bulls is going straight downhill, flying in an old city bus, man.
I mean, we gonna break down. We're gonna talk individually about all 3 of those guys because I agree. I think all 3 of those guys could be useful. And like I was telling you off air, I was in the Chicago chat. You know how I be frequenting other teams' chats and spying and checking the temperature. I asked a couple questions, asked around. You know what I mean? See what the asking price would be from a fan's perspective. That obviously they want everything in the world. You know what I mean? They do think these guys are more valuable individually as opposed to a packaging 2 of them. So they did mention that. Before I break those 3 guys down, I did want to say the matchup. If there was anything I was concerned about, it probably would be RJ Drummond versus Hartenstein, or just versatile centers in general. Just because Hartenstein doesn't have a problem with length per se. He seems to play well against length, but girth, you know what I mean, that might be a different story. And obviously Drummond is a wide guy more than just a tall guy. Not a true 7-footer. So he might give some problems with his girth, but other than that, I feel like every other matchup we should have down pat head to head. So let's start with Caruso. I think he's probably the guy that is most likely a Tibbs guy. Also fits a role that we need. We did the research. I didn't know he was 6'5", but that helps a lot. You know what I mean? So I think there would be times that he could share the court with Brunson. I wouldn't start him obviously, but I think if he needed to share the court with Brunson, he could do that. And he's the closest guy to fitting the timeline, if you will. We always talking about the timeline of guys. So if he was going to be here more than just a year, he fits the timeline. What are your thoughts on Caruso? I guess you could lead J Boogie and then we go whichever way. Since you started the ball rolling on these talks.
Yeah, I was looking for the guy that said that talking about DeRozan don't fit the timeline. Listen, I'm done with the timeline. Go back outside. I'm done with the timeline. Close my door. I'm done with the timeline. You know what I'm saying? Forget, because when you keep focusing on one area, you start to miss out on things that could be good for the team. Now, Caruso, he fits because we don't have a backup point guard. He fits, that Kurt Heinrich type dude coming off the bench. He fits because he's a defensive guy. He fits because he's experienced. But sometimes you got to have a guy that's a little bit older in age that's been there before. So when people say that it doesn't fit the timeline, everybody hasn't been there before with this game on the line situation. They haven't been there. And I know, I know DeRozan has been there. Only thing that's ever eliminated DeRozan out of the Eastern Conference was LeBron. And that's not a bad person to have you being, that's not a bad person for you to be eliminated by. But Caruso, he fits so much. He's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a backup point guard. He's a big guard. He has experience, and he knows what being in big moments and playing and making big moment type plays, what it feels like during a game without scoring the bucket. Everybody can't make a bucket and be a big time play. I need something else. The tough dive on the floor, the charge, you know what I'm saying? The tough defensive stop, you know what I'm saying? Those are big moments to me, you know what I'm saying? Outside of somebody scoring. And I always say one of LeBron's biggest moments is when he ran down and Batman that block, you know what I'm saying, in Golden State when he jumped on both sides of the backboard. It doesn't have to always be a bucket for it to be a big time moment, but Caruso can do some things on that court, you know what I'm saying, that we don't have right now. And we didn't have even when we was in the playoffs. So that's why I speak of him, and that's a good topic. What you talking about him, he would fit perfectly on this team coming off that bench. And knock on wood, God bless, nothing happens to JB. We will have somebody that can, pretty much, run the show until he get back. And that's more important. We don't have nobody in that position. You can't put it on Deuce. And I appreciate Deuce being here. He deserved that little extension. People act like he don't deserve $4.3 million per year. He deserved that because he works hard in practice and keeps Brunson ready for them games when them guys full court pressuring him. So but I like Caruso game.
And he stay ready.
Yes,
Before I let you guys go, let me acknowledge J Bino 59. He says Grimes, McBride, Fournier, 2 picks for DeRozan. He's a bigger guard, creates his own touches, passes decent defense. DiVincenzo Hart backcourt with the second unit. Okay, so starting. I mean, I'm with that. Appreciate the super chat, and I'll probably jump back to this after when we get to DeRozan and get you guys' thoughts on that particular package for DeRozan. Anybody who want to go next about Caruso in particular?
I do. I'll go. So it's important to remind folks that the Knicks have 2 trade exceptions, right? One for $6 million, one for $5 million. They can't combine those trade exceptions, right? In order for them to send one of those trade exceptions out, there has to be a player attached to it, right? In order to make the math work. So Caruso right now is making $9 million. He'll make the same next year, guaranteed money, right? So for this season, we can send out a Grimes. Excuse me. We can send out a Grimes and probably that $6 million trade exception to get that deal done, right? And basically Caruso will come in here and replace Grimes, and that's easy. And I think the Bulls will take that because that's less money on their books. They're getting rid of a contract, stuff like that, right? So that deal can happen. I also want to point out, there was also reports that when the Knicks were trying to ramp up the talks for OG, that all started when Toronto came to the Garden the first time, right? You've seen Wes and Masai Ujiri shaking hands before the game or what have you. You know how to have the cameras out there, the phantom cameras are in the Garden somewhere, and they showed them. So I think this is an opportunity for those conversations to get started in general for Caruso, DeRozan, Levine, whoever the Knicks want, or Chicago. This is when they can be able to have those conversations. But I think I would do that in a heartbeat. Caruso, get rid of one of them trade exceptions because you can't use both of them at the same time anyway. And we'll have him here for another season. You know what I'm saying? And he provides all that ball handling that Jay Bookie's talking about.
Agreed. Shuttle?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I want to shut down DeRozan showing what he got tonight and making himself more of an attraction is also appealing too. So, it's a two-sided coin for me for tonight's game as far as DeRozan goes. I've always been a DeRozan fan, like it was just said, LeBron was his roadblock year after year. It's kind of like Jordan was the Knicks roadblock or Detroit was Jordan's roadblock. So, that happens. Reggie Miller, same thing. Like, he couldn't get past it except once. So, DeRozan's proven, and I'd love to have that kind of ability on the team. The only thing that doesn't make me gung-ho for Caruso, and as much as I would be happy if we got him in the right, smart deal, I like the idea of grabbing Murray over both of these guys. So I'm kind of leaning more on that. You know what I mean? I love the fact that Murray could actually spell Brunson at the 1. So that way we don't necessarily need to grab a point guard. You know what I mean? We get Murray coming in at the shooting guard starting, and then he could play the one when Brunson's out, or you could put him at the one and bring DiVincenzo off the bench. So, you know, I'm looking more forward to that happening than this DeRozan Caruso opportunities. But I would definitely not be upset with Caruso as the new backup point guard. I like the deal that Josh prescribed, despite the chat not thinking he should be a GM. If we could pull that off in like a second round pick, that would be amazing. But I feel like backup center is really more of my biggest concern of all the positions. And you know, I would target Drummond more than any of the other two guys.
And you know, shout who is that? Margaret? My bad, Josh. I misread that. I thought it said you should be a GM. So that's my bad. I wouldn't have put it on blast if I read it right.
No, it was good. It was good. You did. Listen,
it's all good. If you wouldn't have did it, I would have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all promo is good promo.
Any concern with Caruso being redundant in a sense, or do you just feel like we can't have too many of these 6'5" defended? I mean, 6'5" defender. Maybe not the best offensive guy. I know he could get buckets, but you know what I mean. Like he's not the outright scorer, if you will.
He's a better point guard than Deuce is.
Oh no, for sure.
And that's what you're looking to improve. You're looking to improve the backup point guard spot.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
6'2", 6'4", 6'5", it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because he's the better ball handler than DiVincenzo, better ball handler than Josh Hart. So even though those guys are the same height, they can't. He brings an element that they don't have.
And Grimes, remember Grimes is going out in that deal for me.
Yeah, and we're not sure of. And all right, any thoughts of him sharing the court at times with Brunson? We all agree that could work at times.
Yes,
okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I started with Caruso honestly because I feel like as much as I am a fan of DeRozan and bringing him here, I mean, I thought he would have been the right move honestly before he even went to Chicago, coming off the Spurs, based off what he did on the Spurs. But I started with Caruso because I feel like he's the best fit of what we need, what it would cost to get him. You know what I mean? He's also probably the guy on that team other than Levine, which we can talk about. I'll let Josh lead that discussion. He's probably the guy that's probably most coveted throughout the league as far as if they're gonna start blowing things up for sure.
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to touch on DeRozan real quick. I just real fast. I want to say I used to be a fan of the DeRozan move, but when we got OG, I'm looking at the contract situation. OG is going to get a contract this offseason, and DeRozan's expiring. So I don't know how the Knicks are going to be able to bring both of those guys back, considering the cap implications. I don't know how that's going to be able to work. So I don't know if right now DeRozan is the best fit from that perspective. On the court, I love it, but from that perspective, I don't know how that's going to work now. Now, when it comes to Levine, I've been a fan of Levine for a very, very long time. I think he would be a missing piece that can help us contend definitely within the next 2 years with the current group of pieces that we got right now. Levine, I mean, the guy's just a bucket. He is a bucket. Can shoot from three, can score, like this, 6'5", not that bad of a defender as people think. I don't think he's as injury prone as people think. If you look at the games he's played and stuff like that, over the last few years, he's been on the floor, right? This season, I just think it's not working out. And I think he's really playing the whole, I want out. So, you know what I mean? I don't think he's hurt really that bad, you know what I mean? Or hurt enough to the fact that he's missing games because of, anything, any real injury. I will put it like that. So I think Levine is a perfect fit. I just don't know because he's making $40 million. I'm not sure if the Knicks are going to be able to, with OG there, be able to do it. So.
I'll go next on Levine. My only concern is the money, to be honest. Two parts. Get putting enough money together to actually pull it off. Like I don't know if we could do that without including Mitchell Robinson. And I
Right.
don't really want to do that. Or even I mean, maybe we could have, and I don't even know if I like this move, but maybe we could have done that with Drummond, considering Drummond's only 3 million, and then using iHeart. But that's a big change to the continuity and what has got us this far. And then my other concern is, I mean, throughout the league, because I've been monitoring all the teams that have kind of been in the discussion for Levine, and the question is, one, they don't think he's worth the money he's getting, and they're not sure if he will reach the worth of the money that he's getting. So even if we got him, like you was talking about Murray, I don't know if it'll be as easy to flip him if he was the guy we were getting right now to flip later. Um like a Murray would, considering the contract and the value of the play. You know what I mean? Like, but I
Yo,
do
so
think he does
I
fit
think
the team and a
yeah,
need.
yeah.
If we were keeping him and not flipping him, and hopefully, you know what I mean, he's healthy and everything else, I think he does fit what we need. Athletic, tall. I mean, he's maybe not the greatest defender. I wouldn't be mad, but I mean, I'd be like, yo, let's go. Let's see what we could do.
So the Knicks can absolutely make the money work. Without giving up Mitchell Robinson. And I don't think they're going to give up Hartenstein either. That was somebody, if Mitch was healthy, I think the Knicks would have been looking to trade Hartenstein, because Hartenstein is also an expiring contract. So I think they would have been looking to do that. But right now, I don't think it makes sense for the Knicks to move Hartenstein at all, unless you're getting back a center. And I don't think it's worth it for them to even do that. But the draw for Levine is not just this year. Like, it's also next season as well. Yeah, no, I don't want to say long term, but also next season as well, before you got to pay Randall and Brunson following off season, right? So that's the draw for me with Levine. And I think they could get the deal done. It probably looks something like Fournier. You're going to have to get rid of either Hart or DiVincenzo. I'm leaning more towards DiVincenzo, because Levine going to come in and fit right in that spot. Easy day. And then one of the trade exceptions, and then, a little bit of a contract filler in McBride or something like that. The Knicks can get that deal done. You know what I'm saying? The question is, will Chicago take it? And the Knicks going to have draft compensation they can send the other way as well. Levine is going to be on the contract for another 3 years, so you ain't got to worry about paying him. I think it definitely can get done, but I agree with you. I think Murray will be more of the logical fit from a cap perspective, because you don't have to give up as much in the deal for Murray. So,
no doubt. J-Bug.
So we talking about Levine, and I don't want that dude. You know what I'm saying? You remind me of Kareem Akbar in New Jack City, dude.
yeah.
Pretty mother. I don't want him on this team, man. I need some gutter, grimy type dudes. That's where I want. Bully ball. Julius is setting the tone as bully ball. I need some bully type, grinding, hard working dudes on this team. Now, Levine can come here, he can get buckets and all that. He can do that. And then there's a possibility, we might use him to flip him. We can do that. There's so many things you can do with Levine on this team, but I just see the angle and the direction they're going. The Knicks is getting ready to get real grimy ball, man. And just like with Derozan with expiring contract, even with OG's expiring contract. We had the birthrights for both of them guys. So whatever anybody talk about doing, we can match it. He ain't really necessarily got to go nowhere, and we still got a whole nother season for far as dealing with dealing with Brunson or with Julius. But whatever we do, we got to solidify 3 spots. One is another center, one is a shooting guard, and one is a backup point guard. Because if we go get a shooting guard and Dante goes to the bench, I need another point guard with Dante on that bench because he's clicking right now. I don't need him to come on the bench and become the necessary ball handler. I don't want to take people out of their position and their zone of what they're doing right now. Everybody needs to continue on doing what they're doing in their area and in their field right now, and just bring in pieces that can help them continue being themselves, But Levine can work, but I just want that Derozan because I know can't nobody in the East check him. He
Mm-hmm.
got the mid range. He get to the free throw line. He can get to the rack. He can do everything, and he's been there in them big moments. Them big moments. He's been there. You know what I'm saying? But
What
it's
what do
three
you
spots.
what do
Huh?
you say? What do you say to the people who say he didn't deliver in the big moments? Now, granted, my argument has always been it's always been LeBron and his
Mhm.
way. But what I mean, I don't know if that's your argument as well. What do you say to those people? Because
I
like I
tell them to
said,
go.
I've been a DeRozan fan.
I was in a barbershop earlier today, you know what I'm saying? And it was talking about certain things which they was trying to tell me how, we haven't done anything well. Two we had two of the greatest people that are 1A, 1B are as the greatest basketball players at all time that was in our way. Michael Jordan and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? LeBron stopped us. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan stopped us. So go back and look at them DeRozan stats when he was playing against Cleveland. It was not like he won't on that court. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron had mentioned plenty of time how much of a hard matchup it is for him. But they just wanted to go with a more experienced guy when they made the trade. And I understand that you're going to get the claw. I understand that. But there's not nobody in the East right now. Middleton can't check him. Brown over there in Boston can't check him. Tatum can't check him. Philly don't have nobody that can check him. You know what I'm saying? I need another dude that can get buckets off the bounce, get to the basket, get to the mid range, and get to the free throw line at crucial times, like when Brunson. Now you're starting to notice Brunson and Julius sitting on the bench together. Last year they didn't do that. Last year was
Couldn't.
one or the other. They always kept one or the other on the floor. That's that's the type guy you can keep them on the bench for extended moments because I can get some buckets with this guy. But I just need to solidify the three spots. I don't want to talk about Murray. I think you got that later on to come, but you already know how I feel about that Jajante joint. I've been stalking about it for like the last week.
No doubt. Shut up. What's your thoughts on Levine? I
I
know.
mean, I've been wanting Levine,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But I feel like, you have to reevaluate what you're looking at after you make a move like OG. You know what I mean? So what I wanted yesterday might not necessarily be what I want today after a move like that. So um I mean, I thought that if we got Levine, there may be room to get Levine and have kept RJ. So it would have been Levine at the 2 with RJ. Then Levine would have gave us more of an upstick in the scoring that was needed. Somebody more athletic, 3-point shooting, etc. I'm not saying that we don't still need some of those things, but to Boogie's point, like to be able to say, yo, DeMar, here, go get a bucket, get to the foul line. Kind of like, what he reminds me of if we got him. I mean, I might be dating myself for some of y'all young guys on this chat, but I know Jay Boogie gonna know what it is. When the Detroit Pistons got Adrian Dantley, that's the only thing I could really equate it to. Somebody that they can just be like, yo, get out the way. Either he's gonna go down low and get in the box, he gonna score, or he gonna get to the foul line. And it was basically nothing you could do. He was slow. He couldn't jump. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. It was like so many things he wasn't, but he was always a bucket. So, I'm definitely still open for DeRozan in a big way, but I'm definitely looking at Murray though. I think Murray fits more of it's a better long term. It's a better long term move.
I, I, def- I definitely feel what you said. I think you meant Mark McGuire though. boy, because Mark McGuire said, man, forget all this offense. Give me this damn ball. And that's what DeRozan would say. Give me this ball. You know what I'm saying? But man, you 100. You right. You right on it, man. I just need a bucket getter. My fault. My fault, Mr. The young Richard Pryor. Don't
No,
sleep on
I was just gonna tell Josh he might have to Google it, and then I was laughing because somebody in the chat said, "Oh my God, you're 100 years old," because they didn't get the reference. You gotta Google it too.
What all that means is I know the game. That's what it means.
That's what it means.
I've been here and I'm still here.
That's right.
That's right.
Mark Aguirre used to be an assistant coach for the Knicks, actually, so I know who Mark Aguirre is. So,
hello.
Right.
But did you know the reference?
The Mark Aguirre reference?
No,
when he played, yeah, I do know the reference. Yeah,
when they got him for the championship run.
Yeah. 88.
All right, I stand corrected. You must have been looking at the chat there.
Boogie, you do look like Richard Pryor too, Boogie. You ain't lying.
That's what I call him. That's I got little nicknames for some of everybody. You know,
Michael Epps ain't got nothing on him.
Nah.
Michael Epps ain't got nothing on Tony Crow.
No,
I might need to make a T-shirt. We'll see.
That's the young Brandon Fire right there, man. The young one.
What's this guy? Andre Drummond. What's your thoughts on him? The fit, the need. I mean, right now our backup needs a backup for sure. You know what I mean? I'll start with Jay Boogie. I know you mentioned Precious. I don't know if you see him as a small ball 5, or an adequate, you know what I mean, guy who could fill that role, backup 5, or if you just feel him as a tweener, somebody who could do both. But what's your thoughts on Drummond? And there's that or the, you know what I mean, does Precious fill the role, or do you think we need a stronger backup right now?
Precious doesn't fit the role. Drummond fits the role. He's a little bit more he's a little bit more athletic and gifted than what, you know what I'm saying, Mitch is. But he gonna Windex clean that glass. But immediately. He rebounded that rock. And then it's also, I'm putting him immediately in the starting lineup. I need Hartstein. I need you to go back to the bench. Because at the end of the year, I don't need you to be talking about no starter money at all. He'll walk right out the door because he getting his head thinking like, I'm a starter now. I need somebody that can come in that can play that role, that starter, and let Hartenstein go back to being who he is on that bench, coming off that bench. Not saying he ain't doing a great job right here, right now, but I need somebody else that can be in that starting role. And Andre, he can play that. He can play. Andre got a lot of ball he want to play. He want to play ball, and he want to feel like he a part of something. Over there, he's not being a part of anything. He's just out there on the court because they just got him out there on the court. But ain't no winning and want to win amongst that team. You hear Julius over here talking about championship. I like that about you. Somebody need to be talking about championship because I'm not aiming for April. I don't want to play April. I want to play in June. Where's the Kobe? Forget the MVP in the regular season. I want MVP in June. So that's where guys need to have their minds at. In June, stop focusing on April. Stop focusing on we need to get to the second round because you're telling me you don't want to play in the Eastern Conference. Stop telling me what we gonna do to get out of the first round because you're telling me you won't make it to the second round. Focus on June, and then you will travel further as far as your basketball game than what it is. So but I like Drummond coming here, and I know you're just talking about Chicago Bulls team because they in the building and I seeing what we can steal, you know what I'm saying? Playing an office role. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But yeah, I like it's 3 scenarios that can happen with Chicago, and they all can help. Even if you only get one guy. If you get Caruso, it can help. If you get DeRozan and Caruso, that majorly help. If you don't get none of them guys and you get Drummond, that's still gonna majorly help because it's gonna help us in that paint. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that could be brought up with the Chicago game tonight, man. So I'm looking forward to it. 8:30 tonight. We on ABC, right?
ABC.
We on ABC. Look at what the Knicks is doing. Y'all in the chat, stop acting like we ain't win the first NBA game of 2024, too. You know what I'm saying? We getting a lot of views and being put in positions because they want to see us, and we deserve to be seen. And good, Leon, handle your business. Handle your business, Leon. You know what you need to do. Handle it.
Yeah. Any concern with Drummond? A couple things. If Mitch makes it back, any concern with him being relegated into the third role, third center? If Mitchell does become available, um, and I do think he's enjoying his role currently, playing the heavy minutes. I don't know if the minutes, even with Mitchell Robinson not here, I don't know if he would be getting the same minutes here. But maybe winning, you know what I mean, will cure that. But any concerns with that at all? And Queen mentioned her concern with his defense. So those three things. Any concerns with those three things with Drummond?
So I think I think Andre Drummond would be a good fit on the floor, whether defense, rebounding, as as a player we can use for depth purposes. But if I'm the Knicks, I'm not going out trading for Andre Drummond just by himself. It will have to be in some sort of package type of deal because he's $3 million going to be coming off the books at the end of the season anyway, right? So I don't think the Knicks are. I think they're closer to contending this year, but I'm not making a move for a guy who can help us win now. When I think with that addition, it won't really take us to the next level, right? And I don't care how little bit of money he makes. He's not that important of a player, in my opinion, that this team would need to go to that next step. So I'm not really trading for Drummond or even thinking about trading for centers in general with that type of profile. You know what I'm saying? Period. I think we can last throughout this season with what we got. Hartenstein, we'll put Precious at the backup 5. We can do that this season. I think we'll be all right. And then as far as that's it. I'll stay there for right now.
I disagree. Before I get to show, I disagree because I feel like once Mitchell Robinson went down, we went from center being our strongest position to now our weakest position. Now granted, do I think we could make it through the season as constructed with a little bit of small ball here with Precious? I mean, no matter what, it's gonna be small ball. You know what I mean? With Sims playing a couple minutes, Ty's playing a couple minutes here and there as needed. Yeah, we could get through, but number one, I could already see the strain it's been on Hartenstein playing the more minutes since Mitch went down. You know what I mean? But that margin of error now, you know what I mean? The foul trouble. Like I think we need a more adequate, a more veteran, a more efficient big man with some type of elite skill set. You know what I mean? Like not, and this is not saying Hartenstein has an elite skill set, but he does so many things well. I think it makes up for him not being elite in one particular area. But
what does Andre Drummond do at an elite level? Right there?
Rebounding for
at this point in his career?
Absolutely. Still to this day. To this day. I mean, he's got a couple 2020 games this year already. You know what I mean? Like and double is like automatic from him. You know what I mean? So he's definitely elite at that, and that's something that we utilize as a team.
I guess what I did not like about and I'm not saying I'm happy Mitch went down, but I think that was an epiphany for Tom Thibodeau, right? Because centers cannot be our strongest position. That's the problem within itself. Center being our strongest position, and our weakest position was the small forward. So to me, I just don't like the fact that the Knicks really we put all our chips in on through the 5 and having a rim protecting center and all that stuff. Like I want us to be more middle of the lineup out instead of top down. You know what I mean? I think just having a center as the focal point of your defensive and defensive, sometimes offensive strategy because of the offensive rebounding. To me, I just think it's a flawed strategy and it doesn't get it done in today's NBA. So that's where I have a problem with it. And that's why I don't want to really focus on centers. Like, I mean, you're going to need centers for depth and everything like that, but you got guys who can go in there and play the role that you can give minutes to. Like, so let's start using those guys that we have here already instead of bringing in another center. You know what I mean? That's just my philosophy and how I think about that.
I agree with that. I think that though center might have seemed like our strongest position, but I mean, until this trade, Quickley and Brunson as your point guard duo, for me, was the strongest position. But I would have put center as the second strongest. We were, you know, weak at small forward. Josh Hart's playing backup power forward. So we don't really have a 1-2 combination like we had the past couple of years. So to me, the center play where we are at currently keeps our ceiling low as far as I'm concerned. Like if we want to be seriously talking about Eastern Conference Finals, competing against Boston and Milwaukee, and being able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or a championship, like we've got to do something at the center position. We have to. If we wanted to go as is, status quo, have a good season, get 45, 48 wins, yeah, we can rock as is. We'll be great. But we'll be out.
I don't think adding Andre Drummond takes us to the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's what I'm trying to say. And then for people,
him alone, him alone doesn't do it. But to your point, he'd have to be part of a multiplayer deal.
Right.
So we do have a weakness at backup point guard. So I mean, if at worst the deal was Caruso and Drummond, we've elevated both positions. We've elevated both positions. Or if it's Derozan and Drummond, we've improved two positions. Even if we got Murray separately, but we're still able to bring in Drummond. Somehow. I just don't think, Drummond aside, I just don't think we can go with center being what it is currently. I'm already on record, Josh. We didn't get a chance to go back and forth the way I really wanted to about this, but I want Clint Capella.
Too expensive. I heard you. I remember when you said that.
It's only $20 million.
That's $20 million too much.
It's Fournier's contract. It's Fournier. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay. Clint Capella is only Fournier's contract, and if Mitch is coming back, all the concerns we have about paying Hartenstein, we don't have to worry about, because you know what? Capella's already on the books for next year.
So Hartenstein is not going to make $20-something million. He's not going to make Capella money at all. He's not going to make Capella money. That's okay. But either way, the point that I'm trying to get across, and I think Capella, like, if we're not talking about the money, Capella will be a good fit. Drummond will be a good fit. Right, but I'm not investing all that money into the center position. I just think the NBA is too different now. And because Tibbs' whole perspective on we need centers who can rim protect and all that stuff, I think the NBA is way different now. And we need to focus on being better defensively at the wing, right? And then work our ways around that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not investing too much money in the center position. Somebody in the chat said, oh, what if Hartenstein goes down? Okay, we bring Drummond in. Okay, we're still going to be in the same spot that we're on now. You know what I'm saying? Like putting all this money into
I think what they're saying is, what if he goes down and we don't have Drummond? and that's my concern. Like, I think I highlighted the wrong comment, but my bad. Oh no, this is the right comment.
If he goes down and we don't have Drummond, the Knicks are going to be screwed anyway because you lost two of your centers, right? So I mean that's just a horrible situation to be in general. I'm not going out making moves in lieu of two injuries at the same position because that does not happen. You know what I'm saying? I like what the Knicks are right now as far as their front court and their center position right now. We couldn't do anything about the Knicks thing. Cool, no problem. But I'm not sitting here going to make moves saying, well, what if Isaiah Hartenstein gets hurt? No, I'm not going to do that because that'll be just bad luck overall.
But whether he gets hurt or not, I feel like we do need a backup center.
I just disagree. I mean,
if you look at the level of play Mitch was at and the level of play Hartenstein was at with Mitch here, it wasn't a far drop-off. Now he's exerted into Mitch's role. It's a far drop-off whenever he's off the floor.
Yeah, well, we agree with that, but it's because Mitch got hurt. I'm not going to sit here and bring in another one just to try to get back to that same drop-off. Let's change our entire way of thinking in general. Like, we don't need that much rim protectors.
We talk about Tom Thibodeau here. I
think he needs to adjust. I think he needs to.
I mean, that's one thing. That's one thing that I feel like. I mean, I think we had this conversation yesterday. That's one thing this front office is doing currently. is they're giving Tibbs his guys so they can maximize Tibbs. You know, I get the argument with people who don't like Tibbs and people who do, but you have to understand some coaches adjust to their players, and that's their strength as a coach. You know what I mean? I'm gonna work my philosophy based off of who I have. Others like Tibbs, you have to give him the guys that fit his philosophy to maximize what he does.
You just said that there's not that much of a drop off between Hartenstein and Mitch, right? You just said that, right? So we have somebody in there that can play Mitch's role.
Yes. Now,
he already has his guy.
Now, when Hartenstein goes to the bench or is in foul trouble, whoever's replacing Hartenstein, because Mitch is not here, it's a huge drop off.
Understood. But this is why you give Hartenstein the majority of the minutes and you work around that. You can work around that. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no reason to go out and try to get the same type of production or the same type of thing.
The margin of error is smaller now.
Not with OG.
There's only
OG.
Are we putting OG at the center if Hartenstein fouls out?
Tony, what I'm saying is this is no. Understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to put OG at the center. What I'm saying is, because you have somebody at the 3 that can defend the wing a little bit better, you don't need as much rim protection as you did before. Like, if we still had RJ here, you know what I'm saying? I think I would agree with you, right? Because we don't have that wing defender or whatever. You don't need as much rim protection with OG now. That's what I'm saying. So position by position, you might be correct. But again, I'm trying to get the Knicks to go away from that and value what else we have on the floor defensively. You don't need all that rim protection. And you still got it with Hartenstein. You can play him a little bit more minutes, hope that he doesn't get into foul trouble, and work around that based on the other pieces you have. That's all I'm saying. I just don't want to invest into rim protection as much as I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bo.
Hey, how much is Hartenstein making right now?
$8
million.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I spoke upon the reason why I wanted out somebody else. Because we're going to play Hartenstein and $114 million per year. You're going to play him right into that. He is not a starter. He's a backup center that's putting in some work, that's going to have leverage, because I held the paint down the entire season while Mitch is gone. And he's not a $14 million guy, but he can ask that, because you're going to have some teams that's going to have a lot of cap space.
And it's going to be
he ain't coming back.
Huh?
Well, he ain't coming. I don't think the Knicks can afford him anyway, no matter if he asks for
but
the
I'm
same
saying,
contract.
you don't just lose a guy like that. You see what I'm saying?
You ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice, books, at this point. Look who they pay.
Yeah, but if he's in his natural, he's not even asking for that. He might ask for 10. He might ask for 11. But he ain't asking for 14. Because he can go to San Antonio and get that.
He's already getting 9.4 this year. So, I mean, you got to go up a couple of mil.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. You got to go
for inflation.
You could go 12. But you talking about 14, 15, what Mitch? He's gonna ask for that. He's gonna ask for that.
And he's
warranted. Yeah.
He's earned it.
And that may be one of the reasons why they started to switch with Sims. Like, he didn't start until Sims got hurt. You know what I mean? They want to keep him in that position, keep that leverage. You know what I mean? Like, I feel what you're saying, Boogie. I said the same thing.
I'm not trying to let this guy cook up and be in that position and where he can talk up some more money. The same thing happened with John playing stupid games. They know Josh is going to get 18, but since you played that dumb role and you opened up your mouth, Tom, well, Josh can play power forward. Okay, I can play power forward. Give me $2 more million. So when you put these guys in positions, you know what I'm saying, they can ask for more money. You're only going to hurt yourself. You know, but you know, I'm just foreshadowing, man. I want the best for the team, man. I do know we need another big, somebody else that can do something else. You know, come on, Leon. I'm pulling for you. The Capella thing, I like that. Because I don't put together a package deal early in the week that was going to send them guys up out of there. I was going to send 4 first-round draft picks, Sims, Fournier, and Grimes to Atlanta. Let me get Pella and Murray.
All right. Yeah. If you're talking in combination, I feel a lot better about it as well too.
Yeah, that was my thing. I think Josh and him was hosting the show, and I put that in the chat or whatever. That's where I'm at, because that's solidifying. Now, I ain't got Donovan Mitchell, But listen here, Brunson, go on the wing. I got you. You go beat Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to handle the rock. And that line we used to give to Mitch is not missing now. I got Capella. And now I got the OG. And I got Julius. That's a 5 that I sit out there and play against any 5 that's in the East. That's why I feel comfortable. You have to beat us. And that's a scary team. Because I got Capella. He can play against Lopez. He can play against Embiid. You know what I'm saying? I got OG that can play against, you know what I'm saying? He can play against Tatum. You know what I'm saying? He can play against Giannis. You know, it's so many things I can do with that 5. With that 5, man, it's a serious 5. But that's if the Knicks feel like, yo, I got to swing right now. And they know they got to swing. And they don't got no damn new contract. All of them on 4 years. You can't go into your 5th year without a new deal. You better be doing something to get that deal now. I'm going to make these moves right here, right now, where it's not going to hurt. Because Capella come off the books next year. So if it doesn't
he got
work.
1 more year. He got 1 more year.
No, he come off next year. This is like, that's why they talking about getting rid of him.
No, Capella got 1 more year on his deal.
That ain't far. That's
why I don't mind doing the deal for him, because it's only one. I don't mind overpaying a little bit for what I know is going to be 1 more year,
right,
for something I feel like is going to help propel the team into potential championship contention.
Mm-hmm. And we're not even guaranteeing. We're not even guaranteeing how Mitch going to come back. We don't know. Everybody don't heal the same way. God bless that Julius is healed like that. 2 foot injuries. God bless.
I just think I'm not willing to invest that much into the center position. I just think in today's NBA you can't. And the reason why I say invest that much, because the Knicks already made their bet with Mitch. They already made their bet with him. That's how I know Hartenstein ain't coming back, because, you know, let's say if he asks for 15, or let's say you give him 11, that's damn near $30 million from the center position alone. That's a lot to be investing in a center position when you're not getting the most majority of your offense coming out of that position. You know what I'm saying? So the Knicks already made that. Hold on, Tony, real quick. The Knicks made their bet already with Mitchell Robinson, whether he got hurt or not. You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna rock with Mitchell Robinson. They already made their bet. He signed to another 3 years after this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's on a descending contract though.
Right,
he's at 15. Right. He's at 15.6, and his contract is actually descending. So, I mean, you got a fair point. Yeah, you don't want to have 35 million from a center spot and you're only averaging, 16 points collectively. I get it. But I don't know. I think, exactly. I don't have no problem trading Mitch. Sad thing is his injury is too questionable and you might not be able to trade him. But if I could trade Mitch right now, I would trade Mitch right now.
And don't get me wrong, I like Hartenstein over Mitch. Based on what Queen said, I like him because of the offensive thing. You know what I mean? You don't need the rim protection as much, like I said, because you got people on the wing. I just don't know if the Knicks are in a position to retain him. You know what I'm saying? Unless they somehow move Mitch, get somebody to take Mitch's contract and then sign Hartenstein. I just don't think that's the most likely thing that's going to happen. I don't think that's likely. You know what I'm saying? Because they made that bet.
If I'm moving Mitch, it's after I sign Hartenstein. Again, leverage. You know what I mean? You move Mitch, now he know he's starting. He's asking for more. So I'm trying to sign him before I move Mitch.
Hartenstein was he was a threat. He was a threat to Mitch when he got here. And then he was injured and he seen him putting on. Mitch had to come back all the way back. Like, yeah, I'm like, dude, you ain't taking my spot. He had to come back, man. For real now, because it was looking shady for a moment.
Somebody said, "Isn't Hartenstein CAA?" Seagull. I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of Mitch trade Mitch, let Mitch go. I'm not ready to give up on him, but I will say my concern on his availability moving forward is probably the highest it's ever been. You know what I mean? Because now, especially if he's not able to come back this year, my concern is through the roof, because now it's every single year, not knowing he's gonna go down every single year, just not knowing when, and if it's gonna be in the beginning and he make it back for the end, or if it's gonna be in the end, and now we wait until next year. So that I ain't gonna lie, that's a huge concern for me.
So Mitchell Robinson, after this season, he signed under contract, guaranteed money for another 2 seasons after this year. So I don't think it will be smart for the Knicks to try to move Mitchell Robinson right now. I think they made their bet with it. They gave him the extension.
I don't think they will move him now. If they move him, it's going to be in the offseason. I don't think they move him now.
Well, either way, I still think you give Mitchell at least another season. I think you give Mitchell at least another season, because right now he doesn't really have as much value being hurt. You have to give him another season. This is the contract that you gave out, and you got to rock with it, because it's going to be hard for them to move him. You know what I'm saying? So
depends. Any thoughts on this game before we get out of here? Any last thoughts, predictions, or anything you want to talk about with this Bulls matchup?
Please blow them out.
I'm with you there.
Randall 30, 10, and 5 tonight.
Okay. Got a prediction on there.
On 54% from the field.
Yeah, he's been averaging 28 points, 28 and 10 over the last 18 games. I think that's what they said. He's on a tear right now. And the best thing about Julius is he's pretty much playing in that paint a whole lot more this year. He's playing more inside that 3-point line this year. And you got to appreciate that. That can only be good for him. And I think OG is going to help Julius out even more. The floor going to be opened up even more. But if we can get that floor stretched to just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be real. Be honest with you, I think Brunson wants the type of guys around here where he ain't got to be the go killer. And I think he showed glances of that the other day with that 14 assists. If you got the right pieces and the right things around and they not gonna hit people and they getting buckets in there, because Julius, Dante, and OG pretty much was clicking off of him. You know what I'm saying? But you get another person or whatever, or you get somebody where he can still be the killer or something. We're in a good position and spot where we at as far as the squad. And again, we gave up no first rounders. Yeah, I know if somebody say, yeah, Detroit missing second rounder feel like it's almost a first rounder, you know what I'm saying, because they so terrible. So what? We ain't give up none of them guaranteed first rounds and none of that. So we still got something in the chamber, But real quick, I know you want to close. I've been mentioning everybody's show. I just want to mention upon your show and let y'all guys know if you don't know, but as of 2 Fridays ago, I got put on with the New York Knicks as a contract vendor, and just to say Tony Crow and Fulio and even DJ Shelly, y'all had a big part in who Jay Boogie is, especially the chats, because there's no Jay Boogie without, without the New York Knicks podcasts. There's no Jay Boogie without the New York Knicks chats at all. I couldn't be Jay Boogie up under somewhere like the Atlanta Hawks or with the Nets. I ain't never going there. Or even playing football somewhere. I could do some songs with somebody else. It has nothing to do with the song, but just being here with you all, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank you for everything that you have done for me, you know what I'm saying? Opening your doors, you know what I'm saying? Or it's just a phone conversation, or it's just the texts, you know what I'm saying? Or playing the music, whatever, I just appreciate it, because y'all been with Jay Boogie with a lot of his stories. Y'all been with me when my sister was murdered. Y'all been with me. My brother just, you know what I'm saying? He just passed away, the Nick Orange and Blue fan base has always been here for Jay Boogie. So that's why I do what I do and, bet on myself as far as with my music, because my music don't be cheap. You know what I'm saying? My mastering, mixing, it don't be cheap. My beats, it don't be cheap. My sessions, it don't be cheap. But, I bet on me because I believe if I could bet on me and I could present, there's somebody going to hear it. And then I know I'm giving back to the ones that made Jay Boogie. So I just want to say on your show and to you, Tony Crow, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you having your doors open for me always, my guy.
And it always will be, man, for sure, man. I told you a long time ago when I used to hear you on the phone calls, man.
Right.
Them phone calls used to be so inspiring. So inspired. I told you I'm a clip one and use it as a ringtone to wake up to. Cause I'm telling you, man, every time you give me some words of wisdom, it goes a long way and it means a lot. So the door's almost always welcome. And I got you in the show early this year. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna continue to make it a trend, man. The door is always open for you, for sure.
That's right.
Let's
go get dubbed tonight.
Any closing words?
Chemistry.
Or you already closed
Nah,
it?
just listen. I'm here, man. 1-0 in the OG3 era, and I'm looking forward to this new energy. I'm glad I don't have to bring the negative energy around any particular player that couldn't make layups for so long and shot so poorly here. And I'm just glad we really got a guy we can hang our hats on defense now that shoots over 40% from the corner three. I mean, I'm ecstatic with this deal, and I feel that this season is now much more promising than where it was, and looking forward to a great game tonight.
No doubt. Josh?
Yeah, I just want to say salute to everybody. Salute to you, Tony. Salute to you, Shuttle. Salute to you, OGJ Boogie. I think the Knicks are going to win tonight. I think Julius Randle is going to have – he's balling. He's definitely putting in another case for All-NBA. Just for the interest of full disclosure, right? Remember when Randle signed his extension? He was coming off a first All-NBA season, second-team All-NBA, right? Then he made it again. Yeah. Then he made it again last season, right? This season right here, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to make it for a third time, and then he's on a contract for another year next season, right? And we're not even paying this dude max money. So if you think that Julius Randle, A, is not worth max money, B, he's not going to ask for max money, or C, not going to get max money, you're out of your mind. The guy's going to get max money. So Knicks fans, everybody that say, oh, Julius Randle, we don't want to keep him, you know what I mean, da-da-da. You know what I mean? He can ask for max money. That don't mean he's going to get it. He's going to get his money. Period, point blank. He's going to get his money. And he gave this team a discount when he signed his extension. So he's going to get paid. Leon Rose going to take care of him, all right? So that's all I want to say, just so people can understand that. But Julius Randle is balling. Point blank.
All right. I want to, in closing, just say prayers out to Sim. Hope he's feeling better. Hopefully we could get a we could get a post game and a losers lounge. But Sim, if you hear this, man, if you need the rest, get the rest. That's most important. And we'll figure, we'll throw it in the docket for the lost tapes. We got a lost tapes losers lounge series coming. You know what I mean? For all the ones we missed, we still got the, we still got the receipts. So we're gonna bring that to you. The chat, I want to appreciate you guys. December was my highest grossing month, my highest viewed month, my highest growing month. And obviously I couldn't have did that without you. I think tonight might have been my highest live people in the chat live. So appreciate it, man. Hit the like if you haven't. Tell your
January,
friends.
you about to top all of that. January, about to top it again.
I'm trying to build. I appreciate it, but you know what I mean. And for sure, my panelists as well, man, because you guys always come through for me, whether it's last minute, you know what I mean, or whether it's booked a week in advance. So appreciate you guys too, man.
Hey, real quick, the sim tell you like Cameron told my man to pay full. You'll get your thermometer, get you some soup. Pass off that connect, man.
My fathers get sick every day, B.
Yeah, B. Get on back here, man. Get in here, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you be all right, B.
Be all right, B.
Prayers out, man. Sim, get better. Like I said, hit me up. Let me know if you good. If not, get the rest. And the chat, man. Shout out to y'all as always. Go Black, it's time. We out. Go.